Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, July 16. This is the Commission for Women Board meeting. My name is Naomi Esther Blamire, and I am the chairwoman. We are calling this meeting into order.
Dr. Naomi Blamire,
Present.
Dr. Magda Demerit, Dr. Marie Etienne, Ms. Nori Glickman, Dr. Emmanuel Fleurimont, Ms. Rose Gampier. We have 3 that are not here, but you are missing 1 for quorum.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to move to proceed until the 2 join us. Let us do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Filippo, are there any amendments to the agenda?
No amendments at this time, Madam Chair.
Thank you. At this time, we will begin with old business, update on NOMI Business Masterclass 50 Female Startup with Dr. Marie Etienne.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I'm happy to report that Ms. Katia Filippo and I, we met over the phone. We went over the lists. We have letters to be sent out. And so that should be done by next week. So we're in a good start.
Excellent, wonderful. Thank you so very much for that report, Dr. Etienne. We appreciate it. At this time, the Get Fit No Me program, we know that Dr. Magda Demerit spoke with the fitness instructor, and I do believe that there is a new budget that would be submitted to you. Has it been submitted to you as of yet?
No, I have not received.
Okay, great. So we will follow up by end of this week to ensure that we get the final budget, which should include 2 instructors as well as any insurance liabilities required for this particular initiative. Tentatively, I would like to put on the floor a start date of Saturday, August 24th, 2024, and as requested by the board at 8 a.m. Is that okay?
No objection.
No objection.
Okay, great. So then our Get Fit Know Me program will begin Saturday, August 24th, 2024 at 8 a.m. here at Mocha Plaza. At this time, Chief of Staff Katia Filippo, please give us an update on the Commission for Women budget.
Good evening.
Good evening.
At this time, I'd like to also thank and acknowledge our Special Projects Manager, Ms. Gertie Genozier, who actually assisted in ensuring that I got that information for you guys this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gertie.
As you guys know, the total expense for Commission for Women is started at $5,500. The following expenses have been incurred, which are Commission for Women reception that took place in April.
Mm-hmm.
That was for $1,693.50.
Mm-hmm.
The pending invoice for room placements, which is approximately at $340 at this time.
Mm-hmm.
We are just still pending, but we anticipate it to be at that cost.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pending invoice that was just recently processed for MJD for the conference that took place in June, that leaves you with the remaining balance of $702.75
Thank you
for
so
the remainder of the fiscal
year.
Mhm.
And have we added the $400 that was pledged by Commissioner Rose-Gampier?
Now at this time, I know that there's a report where she mentioned she would ensure that we receive the check this week.
Excellent. So can we add that up? We would love to see a higher balance for the Commission for Women.
So
Right.
I also want to ensure that it's reminded that there aren't any rollovers for fiscal years. So I know you want to ensure that, that they're spent by the September 30th deadline.
So we have, we have a deadline to spend $1,102 by September 30th.
Correct. And 75 cents.
And thank you so very much. We will use that money wisely. Oh.
I have a question for Katia.
Yes.
Was that include, what the expenses, not expenses, the, what we bring in? Wasn't there a fundraise at the last, conference?
That's
Is that
the-
included in there?
No.
Because there was,
Oh, so,
yeah.
oh,
How
so
much
the
more was-
702 does not include the monies that were
No,
fundraised?
I have not received any information.
Okay, great. So,
that's good.
thank you so very much, Dr. Etienne. So just to correct, in addition to the $702, there was $400 raised.
Mhm.
Okay, that's 1102, plus Commissioner Rose Grandpierre agreed to match the $400.
Okay, so that's a total of $800.
Correct. So we're actually at $1,502.75. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so very much, Dr. Etienne, for that reminder. So let the record show that the Commission for Women has $1,502.75 to spend by the September 30th date. The time now is 7:06. We recognize Commissioner Emanuela Florimont.
Present. So, I excuse myself because it was a busy day. My medical assistant was not there. I have to cover her, and we had an emergency the last minute at 5:30. A patient coming with high blood pressure, high blood sugar, so we don't have no chance to sit down and then make sure that we're taking good care of her. But she's
Thank
good.
you.
We sent her to the hospital. She's okay. So
Thank
sorry
you so
for
very
my
much.
for
That's
being
fine.
late.
At this time, we're going to move on to follow up with administrative requests. Chief of Staff Katia Filippo, you have the floor.
Good evening again. For the following administrative requests, and I know it's been pending, and I do want to thank you guys for your patience with working with administration and ensuring that these were fulfilled. One of them is the business cards. I do have a copy, which I apologize, I should have had this issued. It's actually not printed as a card size, it's full size. We're sorry, that's how the printer printed, and I'm gonna give each of you a copy. But I wanted to show you that some of the changes, or most of the changes that were requested from the email that we received following the last meeting, were done on this update. Let me pass it on.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And while you guys review, we can also follow up. So the first is the front, and then the second page is the back, or what's projected to be the back. But let me follow up with other updates, and then we can follow up with the changes on these. The second one is a monthly flyer. I did follow up with Madam Chair, and just wanted to advise you that although it shows on my on the agenda that the updated flyer was completed, it was. But as I did mention to Madam Chair, I am following up with the Director of Communications to ensure that it is following the wish of the Commission,
Yeah.
including the visibility, right? The colors, and just to be more inviting per the request of the Commission. So I hope to share something before the end of the week via email to you all, and that way you guys can have that officially done and introduced for when you guys return back from recess. The second, yes.
Just a quick thing, I was looking at the colors. This one looks purple, and this one looks more like a pink, which I thought.
Which one?
I think the printer
I think
may
it may
have
be the
it come.
printer,
Mhm.
because most of it were, at least I'll also send an email so you guys
Okay.
can see it, but I can assure you it's the color of the Commission for Women.
Okay.
As you recall, the last time I introduced it, you guys had the option of these colors or the city colors, so
And we
we can,
changed.
and you
we
guys
chose-
chose the Commission colors.
No, the reason I asked is because,
It's more, the yellow, the green?
So
no,
we want to ensure that
It's
it
the
is
same color?
actually this color, which is more, this is purple, this is more of a pink purple.
Okay.
So I think that what we should do is, before we print it, get the actual file
Okay.
and the colors from the designer, so that we can ensure that once we print the business cards, they will be exact. Thank you, Dr. Etienne, for pointing that out.
Yes.
Like the person who created the logo, there's something that I don't remember, but he will know the verbiage. He has to give you the actual color code
Yes, that's what,
for that.
right,
for
that's what I
this.
just mentioned.
Yeah, but I don't know the name. There's a verbiage, so he will give that
It is the
a
color
code on
code.
it.
So,
Yeah.
Do you guys have the information of the person who created the
Yes,
logo?
I will send that over to
Okay,
you.
please. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Just so we can ensure.
Yes, excellent. And that same file, once you receive it, we will ensure that we use that file for the apparel
Yes,
to make sure that
Correct,
it's
correct.
consistent as well.
correct.
Excellent.
So
Thank
sh-
you, Dr. Etienne.
Oh,
Thank you,
thank
Dr.
you.
Florimont.
Thank you. The next update is regarding social media accounts. I know that it was the directive of the commission to ensure that all the social media handlings were updated to reflect NOMI women. So I am happy to announce that has been included in all the social media platforms. And I do have the password and information for the logins that I will not publicly announce, but will share with you
Thank you.
regarding that for the updates moving forward.
Thank you.
And then regarding the professional headshots, I believe I'm missing one or two. I have to verify exactly
Who you're
because
missing?
I know you guys sent some of them were sent a while ago,
Mhm.
and then I know from the last meeting I asked and I got it. So that is also on me to ensure. I just want you to know that I've also spoken with Ms. Dunia from our IT department, and we are confirming, because Ms. Dunia is going on vacation, that this is done before she leaves for vacation the end of the week, okay? So that also goes into the updates for the web page, because I know that we confirmed the mission statement and objections at the last meeting as well. So all that will be updated all together. I just want to ensure I had everyone, since they were not all sent at the same time.
Excellent.
I do have a question about the
yes.
social media accounts.
Mhm.
So since we will have the information, can we post to it, or would we still have to get clearance about what we're posting from?
So I will be able to, what I can do, that's a very good question, Vice Chair. I can provide you guys the administrative regulation that the city follows as far as for social media posting.
Mhm.
And if there are any changes with communications to update you. But it's pretty standard. We ensure that we're not violating any, laws or
Solely about the commission.
correct solely about the commission. We're not providing opinions,
Yes.
things like that, to have any
Yes.
type of ethics violations and things like that. So, but just to be sure, I will be sure to provide that information to you.
Excellent.
So professional headshots and webpage were pretty much together. Apparel, I will also forward to you guys via email. Thank you to Ms. Genosier. We were able to receive the quotes for the shirts, and if I can find them in my notes. Where are they? I'm sorry, I thought I printed that, but I don't see it. Okay, so I do have the quotes for the shirts received.
Mhm.
The total was about $841 for, I believe, both shirts, the long sleeve and the short sleeve polo shirt.
And that
And that's
is,
the color white.
and that is one shirt per
No,
commissioner?
that's two shirts per
Two shirts per
A
commissioner.
long sleeve and a short sleeve polo, but that's for the color white shirt. We can follow up. They have different price points for the color. I wanted to verify what color, because I know we were still discussing the
Right.
color,
Right.
but I know you wanted to confirm how much it would be for the short
How much
sleeve
was it again?
polo and the long
800?
sleeve. It's a total of $841.
We have money, good.
For the shirts, okay?
For
So
the
I will share that also via email so that you guys can see. I tried to print the style of the shirts. It wasn't really working for me. but I will email because it's easier for you to click on the link to view the shirts.
Excellent. And what we can do to just offset this cost, I know that we have $1,502. However, we do have a small nominal donation coming from the League of Women
Oh, I found it.
Voters who we co-hosted an event with.
Mhm.
And so their treasurer is actually working on giving me the final numbers. Once I receive that, I will submit it to our chief of staff, and then we will work to get a check. And hopefully, not hopefully, we will utilize those funds towards the shirts. Okay?
And that concludes my updates for the administration.
Thank you so very much, Madam Filippo. I just would like to go over what our proposed mission and the slogan that was presented. I know that it was discussed last meeting, but I definitely just want to go over it to ensure that we're all on the same page. And so this is not in replacement of what was created in 2021. This is a mission statement that we're going to move forward with in conjunction with that. Okay? So the mission of the North Miami Commission for Women is to empower women through advocacy, action, and accountability while boldly advancing the fair and equal treatment for all women in the city. And this was directly taken from the resolution that was established in 2021. And I do believe that we have enough commissioners here to agree on moving forward with that.
Madam Chairwoman, I'm looking at the bylaws
Mm-hmm.
that were created and approved by us in the
Mhm.
city. Are we adding this? Because, are we amending the bylaw? Because it says what the mission is here is to support continued efforts for economic, political, and social equality of opportunities for all women, with special emphasis on the need of women in the city, and to serve as an advisory capacity to the council, to the city council. So my question is,
So
This
this is
proposed-
not, it does, so let me say that again. It does not replace what is already written. This is in conjunction with what is written. So that means that when you go on our social media platforms, once we are actually launching the pages, this is what actually will be on the page in addition to that. The reality is, no one is going on our website to read our bylaws. And so we have to, unless,
yeah.
okay?
we can always change a mission statement.
Mhm.
There's no law that says you cannot edit a mission statement. My question remains, have we consulted? Have we consulted with the city to see that the bylaws that was presented in the Article 2, purpose and mission, and the one I just read, because, you know, it's either you stand for one mission, you can't have two missions. Either you have one mission we go with, we place it, and we amend it, or, so I'm asking for the purpose of clarification, do we amend the existing mission statement to reflect the new mission, the new proposed mission statement?
Madam Katia Filippo.
Because that was an ordinance, and we had to come up with
So,
bylaws.
yes, the commission was created by ordinance, and I know that I apologize because I was not aware of the bylaws, so I would have to definitely defer us to follow up with the city attorney's office to
Mhm.
get that information and confirm.
Thank
So if
you.
we can defer that in the time being, if that's okay with the commission, we can, as we make the updates, include the current mission statement. And then you guys until I get my legal opinion, and then that way, if you guys wish to move forward and amend the mission statement as mentioned by the bylaws, and/or I receive that it does not need that, then that way we can replace it. So
Thank
if
you.
that's okay with the commission.
While we're here, let's also talk about the proposed slogan. I don't think anyone submitted one, although we asked for it. So what I am proposing, I can state what it is, and if we want to amend it, if we want to add to it, we want to subtract from it, that's perfectly fine. But tonight, we would like to leave with a confirmed slogan so that as we move forward with all branding and literature, that the slogan is on the flyers. Now, before I even state what my proposal is, are there any objections to us having a slogan?
No objections.
Can you check the bylaw again, Dr. Etienne, to see what it said?
There is no slogan in the
There
bylaws.
there is no slogan. For example, I can tell you, caring for the community is what, I'm just using another organization, is what they use as a
Mhm.
slogan. So you want to be known for what you do. So this is a proposed slogan.
Mhm.
We don't have to vote on it, in my opinion, because you only have one. In my opinion, you should have at least a few sample to, to at least discuss
Well,
it.
we asked for everyone to
I don't
submit
recall
one.
that.
Me
I'm so
neither.
sorry, but I
Dr.
don't recall this one.
Dr. Katia.
Mhm.
Excuse me, Katia Filippo, can you please remind them when we asked for everyone to share a
So
slogan?
I believe it was not the last meeting, the meeting before, but I'd have to definitely double
I
check.
was absent at
Oh,
that
yes,
meeting,
that's what that
so
was.
Okay.
I
Okay.
probably missed that part because
Correct.
I was
Because it was
excused that.
requested, that's when you were
Mhm.
going to discuss at last meeting for the slogan and mission
And we didn't
statement.
get to discuss it, so I'm so sorry, I'm not privy to this, but I'm
No
just
problem.
saying that ideally, you want to get at least 3 or 4, at least one from everybody, and so we can massage it and work and talk about it, and then come up. But to have one and make a decision on it, I don't feel comfortable with that.
That's perfectly fine. I want to be very clear that as the chairwoman, I have a responsibility to move with the agenda. And so if we are, and I understand you were absent, but if we request for something and no one gives their input, that doesn't mean we don't move forward.
No, I'm saying if it was in writing, if you sent an email that specifically stated that, it would have been my responsibility to read the email and respond, and I do not recall receiving an email about that.
So at this time, I'm going to ask Chief of Staff Katia Filippo that everything going forward is communicated via email, and each commissioner is asked to respond to the email. So just for clarity, a slogan is a memorable phrase or motto that is used to express an idea or purpose in a variety of contexts, such as political, commercial, religious, or clan-based. Slogans are often used in advertising and marketing campaigns to grab attention, promote a brand, and connect with customers. They can also help to create a memory association between the brand, the slogan, and the product. So the reason that I have chosen to brand the Commission for Women with a slogan is so that all of the women in the city that comes in contact with the Commission will understand what our role is towards them. When I am in the city and I mention the Commission for Women, everybody asks the same thing. What do you do? What are you supposed to be doing? We didn't know that you exist. So I think that we have the responsibility to effectively market, brand, and communicate the work of the Commission so that we can get engagement. And if we fail to do that, that's on us. And so there are so many different, I'm not saying my way is the best way, but there are many different ways to advertise a board, a brand, an organization. I mean, many of us here serve or have founded our own organizations, so we know this. And so I don't think I'm bringing anything new to the table. I'm just establishing some very basic things as we move forward. And so the slogan that was presented All right, here we go. The proposed slogan is "Where women rise, communities thrive." This is what I would like to present to the Commission for Women. And at our next meeting, all who are currently present who would like to suggest another slogan is free to come up with one. And although Dr. Etienne said we don't have to vote, just to move things along, that night we will have a vote on which slogan we will choose.
Madam Chairwoman, point of clarification. I want to make it very clear that I don't feel comfortable making a decision when our mission statement is not finalized. If we're going to make a slogan on anything, it has to be based on what we're about. And right now, we're thinking about proposing changing the mission statement. And as I stated before, had I had to receive an email with this information asking for a slogan, I love doing things like, I would have given my suggestion. However, having one suggestion from you, the chairwoman, and not having suggestion from other members, I feel that we need to have some input.
I just stated that our next meeting, everyone here present will have an opportunity to share their slogan, and at that time, we will choose on the one that we believe best
If
fit
and when
the-
you finalize the mission statement.
The slogan has nothing to do with the mission statement.
I disagree. I disagree, because we need to know how we're moving. We need to know what our mission is. If we know what our mission is, we can easily come up with a slogan.
So, just to ensure that we do not get stuck on one thing, we can move past the proposed mission. We will go with exactly what is written in the bylaws, and we will vote on a slogan.
So disregard the mission, the proposed.
Disregard the proposed. We will go with exactly what is written, and we will move forward on a slogan.
And who made the proposed mission? Who wrote it? Who submitted the proposed mission? Was it you?
Dr. Etienne, I said, I am the only one who submitted one.
Okay.
It was requested by everyone. The last meeting that you stated that you were not present for, it was discussed.
Okay.
And so, to move forward, we will not consider a proposed mission. We're going to go with the mission as written in the bylaws. The next meeting, we will vote on a slogan. Dr. Fleurimont, you will come with your proposed slogan. Dr. Demerit, you will come with your proposed slogan. I have submitted my slogan. Dr. Etienne, you will come with your proposed slogan. Madam Filippo,
Madam
please.
Chair, can I ask you a question?
Sure, 1 second. Madam Filippo, please send out an email to all members of the commission requesting that at the next meeting, they come with a proposed slogan for the Commission for Women and request that every commissioner responds back to the email.
Let me ask
Dr.
you a question.
Florimore, yes, you have the floor.
Okay. Does everybody agree that we need a slogan for the Women Commission, or this idea it's only coming from you? Because I don't remember we discussed, but since they said maybe I was in the meeting, I don't remember that. But we agree on group that we need a mission statement for the Women Commission? Because everything that we are doing, we all six has to be on the same page. Not Dr. Fremont want to do something. No, it's us. We want that, because that will make the Women Commission come out perfect, or that will help the Women Commission in certain point. That's my concern. Everybody, all six in this group, agree on that point. Like you want to change the mission statement. I don't know if you take the time to read the bylaws to see that we already have one. And now you come up, you say, okay, leave it. So we have to make sure what we're doing, we are doing it according to what the lawyer give us, and then what we want to change, what we want to do. It is we, it is not I. Because I cannot say I want to do this by myself. No, I want that. No, I want to change. The want make it sounds like we are not, there is no unification. It's a mandatory thing. So the detective, how they say that, like, no, we are here to work together. We have to continue working together, and then how we want stuff to be done. I want to say that live, we have to stop that, the I want. We are adults. We have to make decision together.
Madam Chair, just for point of clarification, I know that with the discussion, I just want to be clear, am I still reaching out to get a legal opinion regarding the bylaws?
No, you will no longer need a legal opinion on the bylaws. We are going to use the mission as stated on the bylaws. As it relates to branding purposes, the first 3 posts on all social media platforms will highlight the mission statement of the Commission for Women. It will highlight the slogan, if one is chosen or voted on tonight, and it will also highlight those who are currently serving and in what capacity they are serving. This is why we asked for the headshots. This will also be on the landing page, which we already discussed several times. And if we see on the last bullet point, it says webpage, email, photos, description, mission statement. Okay? So at this time, just to move our meeting forward, I'm going to call for a vote. I propose that we have a slogan for the North Miami Commission for Women. Katia
second.
Filippo?
Yes. There's a motion to propose to have a slogan for Commission for Women by Chairwoman Dr. Naomi Blemire, and was seconded by Vice Chair Dr. Magda Demerit. Dr. Naomi Blemire, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Magda Demerit, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Marie Etienne, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Ms. Nori Glickman, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Emanuela Florima, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Your motion, passes with the 5-0 vote.
Thank you so very much.
I have one
At
vote, I apologize. I have one vote.
At this time, we're still going to move forward with the email requests, that an email be sent out to all commissioners requesting that at our next meeting, they come forth with the slogan for the Commission for Women. And please request that every commissioner responds to this email.
Just to clarify, to propose an idea for a slogan that is optional, correct?
Correct. Yes, of course. And this is why I move forward with it, because if no one proposed one, then I assume that they did not have one to propose. Now, I think that it's best to say that we send everything via email, and when the person responds, if the person does not respond with what is requested, one should assume that you do not have an idea to propose. Now, I don't think that it would be in our best interest to belabor ideas that are only coming forth to move us forward, so that we can have a voice in the city, and so that we can begin to work towards the agenda of serving the women in the city. Again, this whole branding suggestions that I'm coming with is to advertise the commission, solely to advertise the commission. Okay, so the idea that it is I and it's not us, I reject that. I am here to serve, and I am bringing my talents, my gifts, my creativity, and my ability forward. All of what I bring does not have to be accepted. However, I will not downplay who I am. I will not downplay what I have to bring to the table, nor will I refrain from presenting ideas that I truly believe will put us in a better position to serve. And so at this time, the time now is 7:35, and I would like to recognize Commissioner Narissa Glickman. Thank you so very much for joining us. Okay. Madam Filippo, could you please, I know that that wasn't on it, but I am recalling back the last agenda. Can you please share any updates that you have on the training? The training that,
Yes.
for the
So
policy.
I do apologize. So with the training, I have to recall, we did agree to move forward and to have a conversation with Ms. Timpfler, correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So I will have that information via email as well. I did briefly discuss it with her, but I just need to follow up as far as the scheduling and also topics and work with you guys regarding that. So I do apologize for not providing that update.
Thank you so very much. In the same spirit of training, I have been looking around to find a quick study guide for us on the Roberts Rules of Order. I did find this quick study guide that I would like to present to you all. It comes with an introduction giving you history on the Roberts Rules of Order, preliminaries, the kinds of assemblies that are led under the Roberts Rule of Order. It also has the bylaws and all types of organizations that use this type of order in order to conduct their meetings. It talks about procedures for conducting a meeting. It really gives you, I would say, pretty good overview of what the Roberts Rules of Order is. And I think for anyone who wants to learn a little bit more about it, I think this would be great. And I will follow up with actually having a presentation. And I have a few people in mind that I'll share with you who can dive into it a little bit more. However, I want to provide every commissioner with this. So I'm going to share this with the chief of staff. And if you can get one printed for each one, so that when we do have the training, we can have an idea of what she's talking about, and it just won't just be foreign to us. Okay? Thank you so very much. I'll give this to you at the end.
Good training already.
Can we? I have the new version of the book.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Well, I thought that, if I say everyone should buy the book, I wasn't too sure how that would come across. So I thought that, as the chairwoman, I should come up with a way where we give it to you for free, and it's not an expense, and it's not coming off as a directive. I wanted to make sure that we're just giving it to everyone. So we'll have Chief of Staff Filippo print one out for each woman just like this so they can have it. I think this is great because it just gives you a great overview of how things run and how we should conduct our meeting. And it just prepares the next person to become chair. Okay? So we'll
For training on that.
excellent. And so at this time, we're going to move forward with the proposed CFW retreat, which was voted on the last meeting, and we agreed to have it. Now we have to discuss where we would have it, what we want to see, and I would like everyone's input on that. I will begin with Narissa Glickman. What are your thoughts on the proposed retreat? It is tentatively scheduled for August 23rd through the 24th. The idea is for us to have a evening followed by an afternoon together just to really connect as women and identify our similarities, what we can learn from one another. And so I think that that would help with some of the misunderstandings amongst us at times if we really got to know one another better. What are your thoughts?
You mean among ourselves or?
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's always nice to have our time together. I love it.
Thank you, Narissa. Do you have any suggestions on what we should do? We're looking at a Friday evening and then a Saturday morning to lunch. So it would be dinner, breakfast, lunch, and then after lunch, we would
Perhaps
dismiss.
lunch is good.
Mhm.
Maybe breakfast is too early, so so everybody can relax. Dinner, maybe I think maybe we will have too much drink, so it will come out different. So I like to have lunch, if possible.
So originally, what we were thinking, the reason that breakfast is included is a one-night stay.
Ah, okay.
Yes. So that's why the breakfast was included. It would be a one-night stay, so the evening, we would have dinner together, morning breakfast, then lunch, and then after lunch, we would dismiss.
You mean it's like a retreat?
Yes, it is. It is the proposed Commission for Women retreat.
Just,
Okay.
Madam Chairwoman, if I may, I have to double check my schedule. I believe I already have something that weekend. I'm almost certain that I have a commitment already for that weekend, but I will double check. And who's paying for the retreat?
So this is a retreat for us. We would be paying for it. It's not covered by the Commission for Women. I think that as women, if we are to lead 30,000 plus women, we have to set the example on how we take care of ourselves, how we connect with one another, the time that we set aside to learn one another so that we can better serve together. Because at the end of the day, it is very difficult for you to have two women lead an agenda. Very different, very difficult. And now we're in a blessed situation where, as the Commission for Women, we represent over 30,000 women. That is an awesome responsibility. And we're only going to be as good to the women as we are to ourselves and as we are to one another. And so I propose this retreat to assist with that. And since we voted on it, and this is our last meeting before we break, I wanted to get an idea of what we would like to see so that it is not seen as my initiative or my idea, but that we together create the agenda for that weekend.
Madam Chairwoman, if I may. Having a retreat is wonderful. No, I don't think I'm contesting having a retreat. I just came from one. But we need to have ample time because you don't know what my budget is. And so everyone has a budget. Everyone has schedule. You cannot propose a retreat less than a month and then expect for people to just come up and say, okay, I'm willing to do this X, Y, and Z. At least give a little bit of leeway and time to planning because we're talking about, we're at the end of July, we're talking about within a month. And personally, I can tell you, I'm traveling to a conference from the end of this month, from next week until the end of the month. And then when I come back, I already have two other engagements. So therefore, we cannot just propose something on first meeting and expect it to happen the next meeting. I don't think it's right. I think we need more time. There's no rush. There's no crisis. We can plan a retreat within a month, within 2 months, 3 months time. But to say that we're holding the agenda, I don't think it's right. I think those statements are not appropriate because everyone has their schedule. We are professionals and we all have an agenda to follow. So less than a month notice, to me, is not acceptable.
So for the record, this proposed CFW retreat was on the June 18th agenda.
Date.
It was voted on with the date on the agenda.
No.
Yes, it was.
What,
No,
may
we'll be
I,
attending.
Madam Chair?
Sorry?
May I?
Mhm.
I
Sure, I
remember-
just want to clarify that this was voted on.
Mm-mm.
Correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
Madam Filippo, that this was voted on. If you can get the vote for me, that would be great.
I do recall it being on the agenda last meeting. Ms. Glickman was not here,
Mhm.
but everyone else was here with the date on the agenda.
No.
I believe Ms. Florimont was the one who.
Me and Woz, we said that it was too late. Let that item, so
Table
we
for the
will,
next meeting.
yes, we will discuss that
Good.
next meeting, but we was not voted on. We was agreed that, okay, we will have it, but not, no date, no explanation was given the last meeting.
So
So we will leave it for this today to discuss about it. That's what I recall, if I'm not mistaken.
what was voted on is that for you guys to move forward with the discussion of having the retreat.
Yes.
That's what
And
it
we're
was
having a
voted on.
discussion
Yeah.
right now.
So that's what you guys were doing. So it was voted, but the date was also on the agenda when you guys voted on moving forward with the discussion.
So just to clarify, so it seems as if Katya and I are on the same page on what was on the agenda. Dr. Demerit, do you recall what was on the agenda?
I honestly cannot recall at this moment, and I don't have my files with me to give me some support here. Yeah, I
Well, look
can't.
at the minutes.
So at this point, at this time, we will table the item, and Dr. Florimont, I know for a fact that you voted against it, so I know that we voted for it, because I know you voted against it.
To
And so-
discuss it that
No,
day. We will
Dr.
discuss it
Florimont, you
today.
voted against it. The point is, at this time,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go back and forth on what happened, but I clearly remember it was voted on, and I know you voted against it. So, this is what we're going to do. We are going to table the item, and at the next meeting, if the board chooses to move forward with what it voted on, then we can have the retreat. If not, we can totally disregard the retreat. That is perfectly fine. Okay, at this time, public hearing is open.
Madam Chair, I have a few administrative questions for Ms. Filippo. So at this time, this is our last meeting until what month?
Well, I know that you guys usually mirror the council recess, and right now, we are in recess at the city until August 26th. We resume council meeting on August 27th.
So September.
So
would be-
September, you are back on your September meeting.
Okay. And just for clarification, we have 3 of our board members whose terms will expire as of November.
Okay.
That is Dr. Etienne, appointed by Mayor Desume, myself, Dr. Demerit, appointed by Councilman Scott Galvin, as well as
Me.
Dr. Florimont, who is appointed by Councilman Charles. So my ask is just for administrative knowledge on what happens, you know, who does what, and how do we proceed? Does the term just like what happens once November arrives? Because September will be back, October, November. Do we need to get on the agenda for the council? And I want to have ample time to make sure we address all
So
of
that is correct, Dr. Demary, and thanks for bringing it to my attention to review. I believe you guys are based on the appointment of the term of the council person, and these are the 3 terms that are actually up for election in November. What will have to happen is your term will end,
Correct.
and what would need to be done is the council person that is in that seat until that person is elected. So for instance, November is when election is, but then either the council other than District 1, there's a possibility it would be the same council people, right? But if that's not the case, whoever is elected and or re-elected will have to do their reappointment at the time that has to go to council. But we know that for District 1, that will be a new person, but for everyone else, it's either will be a new person or the current council. Either way, because that term ends and they will start a new term, at the start of the new term is when there will be an appointment made.
Is there a possibility that you can put a tickler for yourself just to kind of make sure it's November, these ladies, because we won't have quorum if by December we're not full?
So for instance, you will still be in your position until there is another appointment. So, well, I hope you guys
So,
understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, so
I'm
what I
explaining
can
myself well.
I can chime
Yeah,
in.
help me understand.
So the way it works is we're not isolated. Everyone, I sit on 5 other boards. It's everybody's having the same conversations. So what we can do to better facilitate that, we can have our last meeting done at a certain date. And so the next following meeting will not be until January. So that gives the incoming council members and mayor a time to appoint their new people or reappoint
Correct.
those that were there. But it doesn't stop the business of the commission.
So the reason that, if that's a suggestion in the will of the commission, is because election is in November.
Sure.
There may be, if there's a runoff, that will happen, I believe, either in December because of.
5th, sorry.
Correct, because of the Thanksgiving holiday. So that, then we go into recess again for the winter. So we resume back in January. So I believe that is why the chair is making that recommendation. And honestly, that would probably be what is best, because that gives ample time for the elected officials to submit their proposal to the clerk's office. And then if you guys have, whoever it is, application already there, I would say, just for reference, that if you have applied for this before, I believe it's up to 1 year that the applications
They have
are
to
good
put in
for,
new
so you would have to
applications.
put in a new application to get reappointed.
And so just so I'm clear, what we're saying is in December, then we would not, so our last meeting would be in November?
Yes.
And we
No,
would-
actually, October.
October.
It can be November, because, well, we won't know, that's the thing.
October.
Because in case there is a runoff, because the election is the first week of November, in case there's a runoff, then you could meet, because technically everyone's term is not over at that time, because they're still in office. But if there is not a runoff, then yes. So that is up to the commission on when you would like to.
So I would like to propose that our last meeting for this fiscal year is October 15th,
Yes.
okay? That gives elections on the 5th. So by the 1st of November, everyone who has been appointed by someone who may no longer be in office, the best thing for you to do is go and reapply to be a board member. Because once you reapply, that individual, if they are reelected, or whoever takes that person's space, can then go back to the city clerk's office and put you back. And so that doesn't delay. But if you don't send in the application, then they have to call you to send in the application. Then they have to wait till they have the first meeting. It just delays things. If your application is already in the clerk's office, it causes things to move.
So
That is
then are
correct,
we,
because the clerk does what they do is they do a review and
Mhm.
check before they can submit to the city attorney's office so that it can have a resolution, because it's by resolution, to do the appointment for the commission.
so
I have a
so then-
question.
I'm
I have
sorry.
a follow-up question to the question. So let's say our last meeting is in October 15th. My term is officially over. I'm done. Is that it? I don't need to, if I'm no longer interested because I've served 2 years and we want new people to come on this commission, so the councilmen can reappoint new individuals.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But just to be clear, Dr. Tin, your term will end in November, or whenever that elected official is no longer.
So after November
Okay.
5th,
You understand? So now November 5th is election day, but it's actually till when the person is sworn in. So it's either-
January.
Correct.
Right, so as long the person remains in office, I don't need to resubmit a new application.
Yes,
that
you
what you're
still
saying?
do.
No, you would still need to, because if that person is re-elected, for instance, that's a
Mhm.
new term, you still
Oh.
have to be reappointed.
Because then you would start all over again in line with that person's term.
Okay.
So
Okay.
then I would recommend our last meeting being November 19th.
Okay.
The reason that, I apologize, Madam
Go
Chair.
ahead, go ahead.
The suggestion
not-
of why not to have it in November is in the event there isn't a runoff in November election, then that person's term will end, and
But
there's
then-
just,
Wait a minute, okay, hold on, wait. So there is a transition period, right, between elections. So if election is November, when is it,
Fifth.
5th? November the 5th is elections, and then all the outcomes are out. When does the person's term end?
So that transition period is
Mhm.
between, you're still the vice chair,
When-
legally speaking. However, there is the transition period by where, in your case, Councilman Scott Galvin is termed out. The person who is going to replace him will be transitioning between November and December, those 2 months, into January when they swear in.
Okay, so if,
I apologize. I do understand what you're saying.
yes,
Because technically, say there isn't a runoff and there's already, they haven't been sworn in by November 19th.
Correct.
That's what she's trying to say.
so it's not until they're sworn in that there is a new person. So we
Correct.
would technically serve.
But what I
until that
have to
period.
verify is the dates is based on the date of, I want to say, election or to be sworn in. So that is a very good question, and we've had a lot of discussion. I want to ensure you have the right information.
So for our
Let me
meeting
follow
in
up to
September-
confirm. I have to follow up with our deputy city clerk to ensure, because I know that's who really works with the terms and the dates,
Mhm.
and how that works with the election, because that is
I-
also the supervisor
yeah.
of election.
I don't want us to lose any time that we could actually be doing work because,
When,
So
when does the
understood.
council go for Christmas break?
After the first meeting in December. So whatever that second Tuesday is, after that date, they're in recess until the,
I'm thinking-
until the, actually,
Until
I think-
January,
Until the last meeting of January.
yeah.
So can we have some official information reported so that we're informed by our September meeting?
No, yeah, so, yeah, I will have that information to you by your next meeting, or if not, via email. I believe a lot of these updates I'm gonna provide via email before your next meeting.
Excellent.
But that is one of them, so that we have an understanding when you return in September,
can
how
make a
you would,
vote.
because I would only give you 2 meetings if that's the case. The
Yes.
September and October meeting.
Case in point, why we need to move quickly with making sure that everything that we believe we need in order to have the commission running on 4 wheels, we should do. Because even if for argument's sake, there were no changes, right? You would still have a transition time going on, and you would have Christmas vacation going into the first week of January. And so with your updates that you're about to give us, I propose that we have our last meeting October. If we're going to have a meeting in November, that meeting should be a culmination of what we have done thus far, and we close that chapter. Because if you have 3 people who have played an active role on this commission is no longer there, you do not have something to hand over to the next person. And as we sit right now,
It's not like that. It's not like that.
no, when I'm saying is that we want to be able to hand over
A handoff.
something very tangible to the person. And even if, I'll let you speak, Noreen, even if we don't know who that person is, we still are going to have to come in and do a handoff. And we want to be able to articulate to this person, this is what we have been able to do from then until now, and this is what we're giving to you, and then that person leads forward. There has to be a transition even amongst us. So with that said, I will put on the table, and you can put that in the email, that I am suggesting that our last meeting be October 15th. If anyone wants to have a meeting in November, that's fine, but that November meeting will be a overview of what has been done and what we're passing forward. It doesn't make sense to bring new business because there's just too many uncertainties.
I agree.
You want to close out that chapter, and you want to be able to pass something tangible to the person who's coming so they're not lost. And if we don't have anything written down to clearly identify who we are, what we do, what's our slogan, what's our colors, this is our logo, the person may come in and start from scratch. And that's not the way you run any organization. You want to have a pass on. I'm going to let Nori speak, and then Dr. Etienne.
Well, I believe that the city is going to advise us all this. We don't, everything is going to continue with or without anyone,
Correct.
you know? So it's not going to be a last meeting, it's going to be continue every month.
So what I'm,
Okay,
Nori,
right?
what
that
I'm
correct?
saying is that it's not that it's the last meeting, it is the last meeting of the fiscal year. And so you are, I guess I don't know how else to say it. You are basically saying, this is all that we have done as a commission for the past 3 years, right? And if I am not the person sitting here, the next chair should clearly know everything that I know,
Of course.
okay? So that she can proceed and that she can lead without any hiccups. For example, today, Dr. Etienne said, well, what is the color of the logo? Is it pink? Is it if Dr. Etienne is not here, the person who sit here is going to say, I don't know, it looks pink to me. I'm going to go with pink. But if we actually put all of this together as a package and we submit it to if we submit it to Katya, whoever comes in, as you stated, Nori, Katya is going to give that to them.
Of course.
But we have to give Katya something. We cannot just assume Katya is just going to figure it out and she's going to put something together. And this is very important because as we sit here, we had a transition happen while we were here, and it was not good. And we all felt the breakdown during that transition. I, as a leader, I'm not comfortable allowing that to happen to someone else. And so whether it's me sitting here, whether it's someone else, I want Katya to have everything that she needs in order to pass on the baton to someone else. Dr. Etienne?
Yes, just a couple of administrative things too. For clarification, we will be in recess for the month of August, and we'll return back in September.
Correct.
Okay. The second thing I wanted to go back to, if I may, looking at, because I'm one of those people, I take notes, and as we go along, so I can refer back to my notes. And to the June meeting, that there was an item with the retreat date, but I believe we did say we would discuss it, okay? And so I just wanted to make sure that was clarified on the record to validate what your point. But sometimes if we don't write it down, because I take notes. Everything that's said, I write it down. And so whatever is written down, if I don't have a note, like the other one I have it in pen. Today I happen to have the pencil. And so that way, when someone say, did we discuss this? I say, yeah, on such and such a date. I put the date, and yes, this is what was discussed. Okay?
So we're in agreement now. We have myself, Katia, and Dr. Etienne agreeing that on the June 18th agenda, the proposed CFW retreat is at the bottom of the agenda right before public hearing. It says weekend of August 23rd to the 24th, 2024. Madam Katia Filippo, at the next meeting, if you can come with the votes.
With the minutes. So we
Correct.
can see
I
if it
do
was
have to
tabled.
apologize and put on record that, as you know, as the liaison and Chief of Staff, Acting Assistant City Manager, it is a lot, and I do apologize, but we are taking the opportunity of recess to update all the minutes and information that have been, put to the side. Just wanted to make sure I put that on record.
Thank you. I personally never had an issue with someone stating that it was not there, because all of our meetings are videotaped, and it takes me 2 seconds to go back and look at the videotape. And so I thank you, Dr. Etienne, for confirming that what was originally stated is true.
It was a long agenda, so maybe, it was at the tail end, so maybe we didn't discuss it at length, but it was listed.
Yes.
At this time, public hearing is now open. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. At this time, do we have any questions? I think it would be right now that we would have asked Katia all of the questions, but is there anything that anyone have outstanding that they thought about probably after Dr. Magda mentioned all of these things? Is there any other concerns, questions,
Yes.
comments?
Yes. So I just want to make sure we've closed the loop on the October thing.
Mm-hmm.
What I would propose, honestly, is that we wait until we get the answers from you. And when we come back in September, we make a decision on
The
whether
last,
October is going to be our last and
Or
how we're going
November.
to, or November.
okay, thank you. Anyone else?
And what I want to add is it would be nice to have a folder like Marie-Etienne has. I have a Nori one. I can reprint one, so we can pass it on with Ms. Filippo with everything that we did. So with our bylaws, slogan, everything that we want them to follow. That's what we did, so they have their own choice to do their own, but at least we leave them with something on the table. Like, for example, the business summit is that we're not gonna have time to do it. So if they wanna do it, they can. If they wanna continue with the wellness program that we created, they can continue. They can say they don't wanna be part of it. So I think that at the next meeting, I'm gonna bring you one, so we can.
I have a,
No,
I have-
not for you,
Oh.
to pass it on for the next
okay, excellent.
people that coming, so we can have something ready for them to go.
Thank you, Dr. Florimar. That is well received. And so with that, I will email to Katia Filippo what the different subjects would be in the folder, beginning with branding, initiative, policies. And so with that said, I want to ensure that we actually have that policy training, because whether we're having our last meeting in October or whether we're having it in November, I would like for every woman on the commission to submit a policy, because
Yes.
at the end of the day, that is the job. And so we've done well, we've done a lot. However, if we are not changing the lives of the woman with policy, we drop the ball. Okay? So please, when Katia sends out that email for the training, please respond. And in the meantime, take a little while, take a minute or so in your day, look at other cities that have Commission for Women, look at the policies that they have proposed. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can choose something. I actually have a couple of great ideas from Miami Beach and Miami-Dade County, because it's already there. And then, of course, I have one thing that's coming from me. But we don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's so many other commissions out there that are doing great things. Just take the time, look at things that speak to your heart, because if it speaks to your heart, it's going to speak to the heart of another woman.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
So to clarify, are you also asking us to submit a policy for our next meeting agenda?
Not for the next meeting agenda, because remember, the consensus was they, I wouldn't say they, several commissioners asked for training when we first suggested
Oh.
it. So I don't want to move forward with asking for the policies without giving them the training.
Yes.
The last meeting, we gave Katia the directive to choose St. Fleur as the trainer, and so if we can have her here at the next meeting, that would be superb, so that by the next following meeting
So
in
this would be
October.
inclusion and transition for.
Exactly.
Can I add something, Madam Chair? So while we in recess, like, can we have that training while we in recess? So when we,
I'm
No?
open
We're
to
in
it,
recess.
but,
no?
sorry?
We're in recess. I won't be here.
It's for when out. Okay. Okay, good. Because that will help us to move forward.
Some of us
Like
have to
we-
go to vacation.
But no, you're not gonna stay 1 month on vacation. How busy you are?
I'm traveling.
Okay, but okay, good.
So,
Let's respect
to
the
your
recess.
point,
Yes.
I would be open to it. However,
Mm.
the commissioners want to have their recess, and we're going to respect that. When we come back in September, we will have the training. I think it would be great to have an idea of what you would like to propose. So as the trainer is here, we can say, hey, this is my idea. What do you think? How should we tweak it? You know, what would give it more legs and feet? What would give it a bite? So that when another woman in the city hears that we have proposed 5 resolutions, and they can read it and say, wow, these women were working for me, and I see the work that they have been doing. How, it's not mandatory, however, I do believe if each one of us can come with a proposed resolution, that would be great. The idea is to have the last page of that binder be the proposed policy for this city council, who would be meeting in January by that time, right? And then we're hoping that we all can come to a council meeting when all of these proposed resolutions would be actually put into law. And
Mhm.
that would be from the body of work that we have done as a Commission for Women.
And when we, after the recess,
I
so
wanna call a
September
question.
1st, everybody come back? Or we have to wait until September, let's say 16, our
You're-
meeting, that we come back?
So, yes, your
Yes.
recess is concurrent to what the council is. So yes, their date happens to be before yours, but they also happen to go in recess before you as well.
Okay, so if their time is before us, can before, like, if they come back, we come back, even when we don't have the meeting, no?
Because it's based
No.
on your date of your meeting.
Oh, okay. So I will suggest that just to move with the policy and procedures is something very important for any organization to function very well. And then we are leaving. So I would like to see if we can have,
Who told
no,
you
no,
to leave
because,
Who told you to leave
Doctor,
it?
no, like an example, in case of, we don't know time, because, if we, in September, before our meeting, we have the training, do we need to have the training live, or we can have it in private? I think private will be better.
So what
just
I
for-
do, I'm sorry, Katya,
Mhm.
what I would like to have it live, and we can have a post-training, right? That's not live, but why I personally would like to have it live is, again, this training could be left behind for those that are coming. And that will give them an idea of how to move forward with the policies that they would like to present. The more
Policy, huh?
the
Not a policy.
more information we leave back, and the more accessible that information is, the better off they're going to be.
Can we put it in our page? And then we have it, because, let's say I'm in the healthcare. I am 100% healthcare person. Like, I would love to have my conference, my training, like, not like here on live, like I sit with the person that know, or my professor, whatever, so I can ask certain question that I want to know, and there's certain answers that, or certain question, it doesn't have to be live,
Okay.
you know.
Understood, understood. So what we're going to do is, the meeting that we're going to have, where we're going to have the training, we will have the training at the end of the meeting. There will be, let's say, 15 minutes of the basic training that Madame Saint-Fleur is going to give us, which would be recorded. And at that time, we will close out our meeting, and then we can continue. Okay? Our meetings is the last meeting. We're going to make sure that that agenda is very light, so that we do not hold back the team later than they need to be. So we're we handle business, in 20 minutes, and then she does her presentation in 15 minutes, and then we can close out, and then we can proceed with any question. And I totally understand where you're coming from. Proceed with any questions that you would like to ask directly. We can do that. That's fine.
I just want to say something about the policy. I've worked in many organizations to know that everyone don't need to come with a policy. If you have a policy and you give it to, I'm just saying, let's say we have 2 strong policies, and we give it to everybody give their input. As a team, you have 2 good policy. There's no need to just throw in work just to say you did work. You have to be very intentional. And so my area, my expertise is in violence, women in violence. So if I say something, I want to make sure the city has a program that focuses on addressing violence against women. That's my policy. And I would outline exactly what are the steps and measures we need to take to make sure that these programs, whether it's a programming, whether it's ideas that I want to give to the council, all of that needs to be outlined. And then you give the background as to why you feel that this is so important. So I feel like we're in a rush. I don't want us to be in a rush. Oh, I'm about to leave. I want to make sure I put in a policy here and there. I think we need to be very mindful about exactly based on the data that was presented by Dr. Demerit. Clearly, we saw some problems that are happening in the city, and one of them was heart disease and mental health issues. And so if these are the things that we want to write a policy about, then we have data to back it up. And so I just want us to make sure that we don't feel like, oh, I have to come with a policy because you said I have to bring a policy. I just want us to be aware that, this is something that require thought, that require mindfulness and energy, research to make sure that we do the right thing.
So just to clarify, in March, when I was elected as the chairwoman, this next meeting that we had was in April, and that's when I presented this idea. And as I didn't present it so that everybody can put something together. I presented it to,
I was speaking to the entire team.
right, so I just want to bring some clarification. I said everyone present something that is dear to your heart, and then we will vote on the top 3 or 5. That's exactly what I said, and nothing has changed. So yes, there's 6 of us. We're not going to present 12 policies to the council.
Right.
6 of us are going to present maybe a total of 12, maybe 10, maybe 7, whatever comes to the table. We're going to choose the top 3, and then we're going to build it, put it together in collaboration with legal counsel, and present a finished product to the city council. That's how this is going to happen. And so I apologize if there is miscommunication on what the process is going to be. I hope this clarifies, okay? And then lastly, to your point, Dr. Etienne, it's not a rush, but there is a rush. there's the possibility that 3 people may not be here. And so if we know that that is coming, we need to plan accordingly. And if we don't plan accordingly, that's failure on our part. Okay? So in planning accordingly, we are going to have the training in September. In October, we are going to present and vote on the top 3, top 4, whatever works for everybody. It can be 1, as long as it is something that's going to have an impact on the lives of the women. Everyone is in agreement?
I agree.
Thank you. Any announcements?
I do.
I do. Okay.
Dr. Florimond?
Okay, July the 27th, we having a combined food drive with the mayor and councilman Franz Charles at the JCC Community Center. It's gonna be from 10 a.m. If I'm not mistaken, 10 a.m. to 12. It's a drive-through. It's not walk-through, unfortunately. We're gonna try to see if we can accommodate walk through people, but it's enforced that the drive it's walk through. It's a drive through. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Dr.
And
Florimond.
then there's one Saturday I was invited to attend the grand opening of Commissioner Pierre that did the ribbon cutting of his new office. It was beautiful, but I took the picture. I forgot to send it to you ladies, but it was beautiful. I was there on behalf of you and also on behalf of the business, but it was beautiful.
Thank you for those announcements, Dr. Florimond. At this time, we're going to go to Dr. Magda. Any announcements?
No announcements from me.
No announcements for me. Dr. Etienne?
Just a couple of things. We also want to congratulate our vice chair for the opening of her new office, Wonderful Counselor, LLC, which is right here in the heart of the city of North Miami, 12550 Biscayne Boulevard, Suite 212, North Miami, 33181. So congratulations to
Thank you.
Madam.
We work
because-
here, live here, play here, we do it all.
Okay, and also, there is a back to school that the city is having in August, so I just want us to participate if possible. And August 17th, we're having the Gun Violence Awareness and Prevention Summit by Global Innovative Foundation. It's going to be sponsored by Commissioner Marlene Bastien on District 2 at the Father Joao Jean Juste Community Center from 9 to 2 p.m. And this, as you know, gun violence is rampant in our nation. But from what I see on the data, we're doing better in our city of North Miami, but we want to keep it that way. So we just want to make sure that we invite the chief and everyone in the community to join. It's a free event, so we want to make sure that we invite families, children, the whole community really is invited to participate in this Gun Violence Awareness and Prevention Summit. That's August 17th. And I will be away July 22nd to July 29th in San Francisco. I'm going to be at the National Black Nurses Association Convention. So if you all try to reach me, I may be in session. So just wanted you to be aware of that. So I do have a tight schedule.
We know that.
Narissa Glitman?
I missed the one meeting, and I don't know you all have talked about what we have did for this wonderful event that we did, and raise some auction. We did some silent auction and raffle. I don't know you all talking about, mention anything about the money that I have?
So we did, on the record, Ms. Glickman, we announced that you received $400 for the raffles. We also mentioned that Commissioner Rose Grandpierre matched that $400. So we were able to raise a total of $800 during the North Miami Commission for Women conference. And so we have, while you were away, and even today, we did talk about appointing a treasurer. Because although we did not have a treasurer, you played the role of a treasurer during that conference, and you have been the custodial of those funds. And so this is case in point where I believe that we needed to identify a treasurer so that as we move forward, we can ensure that there's a separation of duties, and we have a specific person who handles funds. And so, Narissa, we are waiting from the legal team on how we can move forward in appointing a treasurer for the commission. At this time, you can transfer the funds over to Katia Filippo, and I believe Rose stated that this week she would transfer the funds also to her.
To write a check, yeah.
She would write a check. And so I think at this, what would be great, Madam Filippo, is that once Nori gives the funds to you, that you give her something in writing that you received it,
Correct.
and as
We can
well as
provide a
from,
receipt of confirmation.
excellent. Nori, you
Thank
have the
you.
floor again.
Thank you. That's all.
But
Okay.
for
And,
the record, Nori,
Yes?
I wanna really thank you. You were amazing. You did a very good. I cannot explain the job that you did that day. You was able to raise that money, prepare the baskets in the back. Some basket you cannot even carry them. You did. You asked people to help you. Thank you so much.
Anytime.
I
It's-
love working with
It's for
you.
North Miami City. I have to do something.
Yes.
And August 12th, we have this back to school. We are going to make some backpack. Any one of us, if we would like to, if we'd like to donate, and we always do that from the Rotary anyway. So we'll do some of the, participation with this.
This is
Yeah.
the city and council
Yeah,
doing this.
yeah.
I
just
think-
we'll
I
do
think,
this.
Dr.
We'll do it every year.
Fleur
Thank you.
mentioned it as well.
Yeah.
When the back.
Pac-Man? Dr. Etienne.
Etienne,
Okay,
yeah.
Dr. Etienne.
Yeah, it's Monday, August the 12th,
Mhm.
at the Joe Celestin Center,
Yeah.
from 3 to 7 p.m. Backpack giveaways, free food, entertainment, educational, family resources, and more. And this is all of the council that's doing this, all
You
of them.
know-
So we use the money to do that?
There was some great news. We also want to congratulate the city clerk. I saw something on LinkedIn from the mayor about
Oh.
the Madam City Clerk actually received some recognition for.
So if you like, I actually do have it.
It says, I'm thrilled to announce
Okay,
that
good.
the city clerk, Vanessa Joseph, has achieved the prestigious designation of Master Municipal Clerk from the International Institute of Municipal Clerk. This remarkable accomplishment reflects her dedication and commitment to excellence in her profession. In addition to this honor, Ms. Joseph was awarded the Robert N. Clark Memorial Award by the Florida Association of City Clerks at the 2024 FACC Summer Conference and Academy in Kissimmee, Florida. This award is a testament to her significant contributions and unwavering dedication to advancing the ideals and goals of the municipal clerk's profession. It says, "Well done, Madam Clerk. Your achievement brings great pride to our city." From Mayor Alex Desulme. And then he shared pictures. And I also shared that post with the Haitian American Professionals Coalition, where Vanessa Joseph is also the vice chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more announcements?
Yes, Saturday, when I was at the event, I saw all the city, all the department from the city of North Miami were there. I said, oh my God, why didn't they invite us to be there too? And I think if you,
They invite everybody.
no, like to be there, to have a table.
Oh,
The police department, social services. I think that if they can add us to the list, so they can send us to, if one of us can be there, because it was nice. So the community was able to meet every single department from the city. It was very nice.
If I can add, well, to just clarify, but that was also at the request of the elected official hosting the event.
Mhm.
So that's a conversation to have with the elected officials for when they have their
Oh.
resource events.
Yes.
Yes.
So at least we can be there, have because the community needs to know that we here to work for them. So they need to know that we here.
Mm.
Like it would be nice. And then I think the event on the 12th,
yeah.
if we don't have, even we have 20 bags, let's collect. I don't know if we have enough money to purchase, like each of us buy 1 or 2 bags, and then we can have our table there with our logo, we have promotional material so we can be present at
That
their
would-
event too.
That would be a nice appearance.
Yes.
Yeah, because we haven't done any of that yet.
Mhm.
And we can use the $800. We can use a little bit, maybe
Yes.
100 to do that.
purchase
If
that.
anyone, I just propose if anyone have no objection, we can do that.
I think it's a great idea. Will either of you lead that initiative to organize us, since we won't be able to meet or do anything until, so if either Dr. Fluimon or Nori?
Okay, since I still have some cash, I will use a little bit. If no problem, I will just pay for it too.
No, I'm saying just coordinate it so
Yeah,
that
of course, of
we
course.
communicate with all of us, what do you need from us?
Yeah.
And da-da-da-da-da, so that we can.
Then you can come and we can
And support it,
be
yeah.
there.
That
That
day,
would be great.
That day I'm working like at the medical, the medical facility. We will be providing medical services. So I'm gonna be there, but I cannot be actually with the women 100%. Yes, because I already assigned. Mhm.
Any more announcements?
Nope.
I mean,
You all invited to the Hannah picnic this August 3rd. It's a Saturday. You all invited?
Thank you for that invitation. The time now is 8:32 p.m. Motion to adjourn.
Ooh, motion.
Second.
I have a motion to adjourn by Dr. Blemire at 8:32 p.m. Dr. Naomi Blemire, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Magda Demerit,
Yes.
Dr. Marie Etienne,
What am I voting?
the adjournment.
Oh, yes, of course.
Ms. Narissa Glickman, and Dr. Emmanuel Fleury.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Good night, ladies.
Good
Good
night.
night, good night, good night.